Hi there, it's Chuck with Pocket Snakes again. Today I was going to show you how to spin a two-tone, so black and yellow, um, necklace. So I've got 24 foot of black thread, which happens to be kevlar thread, and 24 foot of this nylon unbonded thread, and the ends have been tied together so that they're loops. So each loop has two strands, one going each way, and then it's been doubled over. So then what I'm going to do, so this has 8 strands, so 4 on this side and 4 on this side. And I'm pulling this up through the center of the first strand. And I've got 8 strands I'm putting on the hook to spin. And a tip for everybody, if you want to have the union of these two, so that the union where the two in the middle, two colors come together, which is going to be the area that forms a loop. If you want that area to be stiff, you can use a little bit of beeswax. So now this strand is 6 feet long, and I'm going to wax the center. So by rubbing the wax back and forth, I've now waxed the center of these two. I'm going to try and move the camera so you can watch these strands spin together. Now you need an area where you can back up 6 feet from your hook. And I'm going to spin the long 6 foot, which is comprised of 8 strands of yellow and 8 strands of black. You can sort of see it dancing around in the middle of your screen. And since I'm spinning this manually, picked up a piece of dog hair. Don't want a piece of dog hair spun in. Note to those people with pets, if you have a corgi or a cat, do this right after you vacuum and mop everything. Otherwise the thread will pick up stuff. And so this whole thread will begin to shorten, and you don't want to spin it so far as it knots up. You just want to spin it so that it spins consistently. And the string will shorten up a certain amount, and then we're going to fold it. Still got a piece of dog here trying to jump in. And then this is a spinning crook that leaves the loop open after it's spun. It's something I make. I'm going to scoot the camera down. Okay, so I spun the thread to the left, but when it's folded, it will want to spin to the right. So keeping tension on it, I'm going to spin it to the right. And you'll start to see a two-tone pattern form. So this is a very tight lay cord. And then you'll notice where I waxed it, it's dull here instead of being bright. And you can fix that by heating it up with your fingertips. You just pinch the cord and it gets very hot and that wax melts. And then the color comes back. And then it's spun and counter spun, so it'll remain in a sort of neutral position once it's completely spun. And then what I like to do is cut off the knots that were on the end. And then unwrap it or unspiral it on the end for about an inch. You take one of the threads, and form a half hitch or an overhand knot against the stem. That makes the smallest knot. Now I did a yellow one, then I'm going to grab one of the black strands. I'm going to grab a yellow strand. Then I'm going to grab a black strand. And you always want to grab one of the long strands because after you put it around the stem, it's shorter. But it makes a nice little feather presentation at the end. There's lots of knots you can tie, including a globe knot if you want. But that won't come apart. If you want, you can toss like a figure-8 knot into the end if you want a stop knot. I'm not going to seat the knot, I'm just going to leave it there. So this is what I mean by it holds itself open. You can fold the cordage and push it through and pop it off. So if you spin .48 feet of thread in a 6-foot loop, or in this case, two-tone, it'll make about a 12 7/8 or 13-inch loop or 13-inch little necklace. Pretty short. You probably have to go a little bit longer depending on what you want, but you can just adjust the loop for where you want it. So that's how to spin two-tone cordage using the spinning tools that I make. And you can make your own. I make them out of spring steel, but you can make them out of coat hanger wire and they work just fine. The spring steel lasts a little longer without bending. But that's how to spin your own necklace cord out of thread. So this has been Chuck with Pocket Snakes. If you like what I'm doing, please like, share, and subscribe.